When all else fails, gallon of mayo.
I saw a comment that was like, technically, a party can survive off the gallon of mayo. Don't think about how disgusting that would be.
So, as the two people who actually sleep go to sleep, easy.
Oh, damn it. I knew this was coming.
Am I that predictable?
I mean, I feel like we all knew this was coming at some point in High Sale. As soon as this demon guy was like, hey, I know you, by the way.
So, as you're sleeping, you find yourself in a small rickety shack, likely by the ocean based on the sound. Rain is pouring onto the roof. You are seeing through the eyes of yourself as an infant. You can see your parents kind of sitting at a small table by candlelight eating a small dinner, speaking about something that you can't understand or hear. When the candle that is kind of flickering on the table erupts into a plume of fire that sends both your parents flying against the walls in either direction. And out of it emerges the head and horns of this, what must be in its full form, an immense demon or devil of some kind. And it's looking at them, and before you can see what is done, the fire kind of pulses again and engulfs the rest of the whole house, including your cradle. And as the flames kind of creep up along the sides of the fixture, the blankets that are draped over the edges start to light. You see a shadow kind of step into view in front of you, and it's a familiar face. It is the face of this Dia person that you are currently being helped by, and he kind of scoops you up. At this point, the flames have kind of reached you, and you have gotten a few burns, but he's able to kind of pat out the flames, and the demon face kind of turns back to you and pulses again, and both you and this form kind of are engulfed in the flames. He wraps his wings around you, the both of you trying to kind of shield you from it, but you can feel that he wasn't fully successful. And you wake up, still feeling the slight burn, almost thinking that you have to put out a fire as you wake up.
She shoots up and looks for where the fire is. Is it?
There's not an actual fire.
But I mean, like, is everything normal in the room, or is Dia here?
Everything is as you left it. Dia is still in the corner.
Is he awake?
As far as you can tell, he's sleeping.
Shatter would mostly notice your movement since he's not asleep. He kind of whispers, "Bad dream?"
Yeah, just a bad dream.
What time is it? Is it like early morning, middle of the night?
I'd say it's probably 3-4 a.m. Sun hasn't risen yet.
It's still dark outside. Might be best to sleep if you can still, unless you'd like to talk about it.
I might at some point, but I might need to get my bearings first.
It's okay.
She does not take her eye off Dia. Am I the only one to have woken up so far?
Shatter nods.
Man, it's really nice having someone who doesn't sleep here.
Yeah, it's hard for the dream sequences though.
How do you send someone a dream sequence if they don't dream?
I mean, I did it. I just set her a hallucination.
It's fine. He'll just randomly start hallucinating. It's fine.
No,
You were
yeah,
in the
that's
desert
totally
last
fine.
time. It worked. You're having a desert hallucination.
Maybe I should just make him kind of like a druggie, and then like
He just smokes some meth and then sees the
Self-induced
shadow.
visions.
Yeah, he sees the shadow people.
But as you guys are having this conversation, Ahaya.
The 2-for-1 dream sequence.
I thought about doing a 3-for-1, but it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was necessary. You find yourself floating in some kind of void or abyss. It's kind of has the physics of like being underwater, but you're not. And before you is this large kind of crack in the fabric of reality. And you can see through it into what seems like another plane of existence. And beyond that is water, a vast expanse of ocean. And you see a massive serpent-like creature just swimming beyond this crack. And then all of a sudden it turns and its large eye is like the size of this crack in reality. And it looks through at you, kind of looking you up and down and gauging what it's seeing. And that's it.
Do I wake up or do I?
It's
am I
not
able
necessarily.
to?
No, it's not necessarily scary. So I feel like the dream ends. You can either wake up or.
I can't.
Continue
I'm
your
not in
slumber.
control of anything in this dream. I can't move towards it. It
No.
ends.
Yep.
Okay.
It was almost as if you were seeing something that you weren't meant to when you were sent away.
Okay. I will try to go back to sleep and will myself back into that space, even if it's completely unsuccessful.
Hate that.
Chatter. Just kidding.
Dia.
Surprise! New player.
It's his own dream sequence.
That's something I would do.
I'm for it.
Have
That'd be
combat with
hilarious.
myself once.
If I had a nickel for every time I've watched my DM play with themselves, nickels. Different
This
DMs.
group keeps doing it, just setting it up so that you don't have to actually take part in the combat.
We're smarter than your average group.
Apparently.
Big brain time.
Anyway. But yes, that is.
as people are heading back to sleep, I guess mostly for Izzy, since it seemed that her dreams seemed a bit more scary. I don't know if he would like kind of spread his cloak over her when he thought that she was asleep. I don't know, up to you if you actually are asleep.
It's like that, like not really asleep, but you're trying really hard. So she accepts it and looks at you and goes, "Thanks. It'll help a little bit."
It is very warm. It's, I guess, it's not like a heavy winter cloak, but it's like one of the ones that it's like light and breathable, but also fairly warm.
It's comfy. I'll have to get one for myself. Maybe a little bigger.
He kind of chuckles. They make them up north mostly. Perhaps we'll visit one day.
Maybe someday. Do you miss it up there? Or?
Yeah, though I've learned much on these travels, so I do not regret it.
Well, that's good.
He will mostly return to the crate that he's been chilling on. He is aware that most people need sleep, and he's like, I should get more sleep.
And then, if nothing else happens, you all awake in the morning.
Steven, you wake up. I'm running your dream sequence, buddy.
Oh no.
What would be his nightmare?
This.
He's surrounded by hot women
Oh, God.
and
No.
ugly NPCs.
No.
Not the women.
Get them away.
This, you see Strahd. It's a woman.
No. You can't.
None of the NPCs are fuckable.
Hashtag worst nightmare.
No ugly NPCs.
Also, it is not my fault that Margot clearly intended for that NPC to be fuckable. Okay.
Look,
Well,
all
I
I'm
just call them
saying,
Margot.
look at every single NPC you've put in. There is not one ugly NPC.
There's no such thing as ugly in Meridian Expanse.
Especially the fucking throwaway dwarf girl. This one. The throwaway shopkeep.
Oh.
You didn't need to link.
Who's to say she's throwaway? She could be
Are we
a
ever
recurring
going
character.
back to that
That's up to
specific
you
shop?
guys.
Well,
It was in Samabra, wasn't it?
I
Or
am.
was it in-
Yeah, it was in Samabra. I will if we go back there, but especially because I got hit on. But did not need a picture, but you still provided one.
I always have pictures. Pinterest is always pulled up while I'm DMing. Speaking of which, I'm saving this one.
Oh, great. Another NPC to simp for.
Since Chirp is flying over, just kind of monitoring things, would he be able to kind of see the general route that the mecha spiders are taking?
It seems kind of random. It's kind of like a full sweep. There are a lot of them, and they're sticking mostly to the main roads. Sometimes they're always in pairs, and sometimes they venture off separately if they need to go explore a little alleyway and then meet back up. You do hear a couple times throughout the night, just kind of a distant scream.
And it's not a weird question, but is there any other animal life that would be normal for a city, like pigeons or other crows, squirrels? I don't
Probably
know.
Rats and pigeons and things.
Yeah,
There are a couple rats in this room.
great.
So you guys waking up?
Mm-hmm.
Dia is still with you, and he walks up to you all and says, "Well, are you ready?"
I think so. Hey, did you have any trouble sleeping last night, or was that just me?
Oh, slept like a baby.
Insight check.
Roll an insight check.
Oh, it's great.
Slept like a baby.
God damn it. I need to play a high wisdom character for my next character.
It's pretty great.
Actually be able to catch people in lies and shit. So is there any rules that we need to know that are imposed during the day, or is the curfew the main one?
The spiders are only out for the night. During the day, it's business as usual. Just don't be too rowdy, kill people, etc., etc. Well, even that isn't really that policed. It's during the day. It's mainly up to the crime lords of each region.
And we're in Cypher's region right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's.
Actually, are we? No, we're not. Right now, we are in the Docks region, which is generally held by Sodomal Vutriva, the leader of the Sisterhood. They run the docks. Makes her quite powerful. And she looks like
Hot.
dead.
Bruh.
Oh no.
Can you spell her name, by the way?
Oh no.
Bruh. If I wasn't a one,
Steven, what have you done?
that's VU, right?
Yeah, Vutriva.
If I wasn't a one Earth Genasi kind of guy. Okay, well, we should probably head to the Cobalt Ire. Maybe scout it out a little bit. Maybe Cypher will be there.
Perhaps. Well, let's go.
As he picks up her stuff and the helmet engages to look more intimidating. It doesn't work. Yeah, so I think we're just heading to the Cobalt Ire, yeah? Anybody have any objections?
Nope.
As you're walking, can you describe Len for me?
Len?
Yeah, what was he race was he specifically?
He was also a red tiefling.
Okay.
And do you want me to describe what he would have looked like after Izzy left, or just what Izzy would remember?
Mainly, I just wanted to know what, and were his parents his biological parents?
No, he was also an adoptee.
And so, what did they look like?
We'll say they were a half elf and a human.
Cool.
Gotta find a halfling or a half elf dilf and a human milf, and then that's
Cool.
immediately what he went to Pinterest for.
I literally was already on Pinterest. So, like, what are you guys talking about as you're walking to this place? Looking for anything in particular?
Are there food stands?
Yes, we'll say that there are quite a number of different options for food as you're walking, because you're on the docks right now, so like there's lots of seafood and things.
Kind of towards Izzy. Do you got any recommendations?
Well, like I said, maybe stay away from the fish usually, but that's usually the only option. It's not that dangerous. Stay away from like bottom feeders, I guess. The ocean near High Sail isn't super clean.
Sir, as we're passing by, Chatter will grab a quick snack from something that smells the least bad.
Okay. You are able to find a fish vendor. It's this kid who kind of has like a big giant basket on his head full of fish. And he's just kind of yelling out for anybody who wants fresh fish.
Chatter would kind of like bog him down, ask how much one of them is, I guess.
One copper.
Oh, that works for me. He like pulls a copper out from a pouch, hands it over.
Thank you much, Lee. Walks off.
Chatter kind of like looks at this like fish in his hand. So, is it customary to eat it just as is?
You could. I wouldn't. I mean, I'd probably clean it first. Is it cleaned?
I don't know. Is it cleaned?
Is it gutted and everything?
Gives you a raw, just caught fish.
I mean, at least you know it's fresh.
Fish markets work. They ain't got too many fish markets up north.
Yeah. I mean, is there like any place like with running water that isn't extremely dirty nearby?
The tavern you're going to might.
Okay, well we can clean it near the tavern.
Alright.
My dad was a fisherman, so I can show you.
He sticks into one of his pouches.
Usually we buy the cooked ones, but
Well, I guess something else I learned today.
I mean, I don't know the biology of the general bird people population, but I don't know, maybe it wouldn't make you as sick as it would make me.
I don't know. I mean, there's nothing in like the descriptions that can't go about them being able to eat shit.
Yeah, maybe we just cook it.
That's probably safest.
We're just mostly in like the docks area. There's no like actual shops on the way there, right?
I would say that you're kind of in a more residential area, because this is also the area that both you and Len like lived in.
Right.
So you would need to kind of make your way more towards the
Okay.
southeast,
Yeah.
like near the wall, to get to more the market area.
After our trip.
There are lots of like weird looking dive bars and shit that you could probably get food in.
Or get stabbed in.
Yeah.
That just comes with the area.
All right. So you are led to the Cobalt Ire, and once inside, it's a pretty lively place. There are. It seems like because you can't go out at night, early morning like this is kind of peak time for these places. So there's kind of just like barmaids kind of like walking around with trays and things, like handing out drinks. Lots of noise, lots of stuff going on. Very surprisingly busy atmosphere. Behind the bar, you see a large man kind of cleaning out a beer stein. Izzy, you would recognize him as Glen's father.
The guy that I totally named.
He's kind of behind the bar, cleaning steins and things. And You are also able to pick out his mother. She's kind of talking to different patrons at their tables, kind of just making conversation and just being the good host. And
Nothing.
What'd you say?
I said guilt alert, but we're not going to talk about that.
Oh my god!
You want me to name these guys, or you got it?
Does not matter to me. I can name them. It's fine. But yeah, so you walk in and you see them, and what do you do?
How crowded is it? Is it like pretty crazy stacked crowded?
Pretty much. There's like maybe one table that isn't taken, kind of crowded.
First, I'm gonna look around and see if I see a robo lady.
Make a perception check.
All right, I'm super great at these guys. Ooh, there it is.
Ahaya's definitely been like high alert the whole time. Like
A high alert.
a high alert, yes, a high alert. Wah wah wah.
So I definitely see Cypher with my 7 perception, right?
You do not see Cypher, unfortunately.
Okay. Now, how did that happen?
You remember that the mother's name is Nisha and the father's name is Old Death. So, what do you do?
I'll turn to Ahaya and ask, if you want to snag that table for us, I'll bring us some refreshments.
Okay.
I mean, you're big and scary. Nobody will try to take it from you, I assume.
Ahaya will go to an unoccupied table and be like almost awkwardly intently staring around the place.
Counter and Chirp will slip into their own separate chairs. You can't see Chirp because he's too small.
He gets his own chair. Izzy will approach the bar where Old Death is at.
He's kind of not looking up, and he's kind of washing his. What can I get you?
Well, what would you get someone, an old acquaintance? And the helmet comes off of her face.
He kind of looks up at you, and he's like, "Is that you?" And he kind of just like before you can say anything, drops the mug and just like reaches across the counter with his giant arms and basically just fully lifts you over the counter and hugs you. Very awkward position for you.
As her bones are being broken.
Yes, that is what's happening.
She just crumples. Hey, how have you been, Old Death? How have things been here?
As you're asking that, and as he's hugging you, he's actually like, Nisha, look who's come to visit. And you see Nisha kind of see you from across the room and just kind of and start waddling her way quickly back over to the counter. I'm sorry, what would you say?
I asked how things have been. It looks like you've gotten a lot of business recently.
Well, that's what happens when you get in business with the crime lord.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd say those things.
Yeah. Times really did change, I guess.
Yeah, and crime's relative when there aren't no laws.
Look, as much as I would love to just have this be a trip to see you guys, I might need some help here.
Oh, what can we do for you, lass?
As quiet as you can be in a loud bar, she's gonna kind of, I'm here on business. I'm looking for Cypher. I heard she
as
comes.
You're like kind of, as they hear your voice get lower, they both kind of lean in very like conspicuously.
I heard she was frequent here, and we need to talk with her. My friends are over there, and points to Ahaya and the table.
You see her look over at them and kind of give an expression that's and that's kind of just like as she's kind of judging them. Interesting.
Hey, at least I have friends now, right?
That's true. I suppose you've heard about Len.
I did, and I was sorry to hear about it. I was hoping to see him when I came back.
Well, unfortunately, he got himself wrapped up in some nasty business, but he was trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, Cypher's here, but we have strict orders not to let anyone interrupt the meeting she's having. And I honestly shouldn't be telling you there's a meeting.
No, yeah, I assure you we don't mean her any harm. We're actually here to help with some things. I can't say much. It's super important business.
Ah, I see, important. She kind of gives you a wink.
What? Look, without saying too much, I'm working with the assembly now. It is.
Oh, I see. Well, like I said,
You does not believe me, goddammit.
I can't let you into the meeting, but because it's you, I can tell you where you can find a crawl space where you can listen in on the meeting.
Thank you so much.
Of course, dear. She hands you a key. This is the key to room 2 upstairs. If you lift up the floorboard under the bed, you should be able to see down into the room.
Thank you so much, and I promise I'll be back to actually catch up.
I understand. Len was the same way. Only came when he wanted something.
Look, I promise, okay? I promise I won't leave without saying goodbye, okay?
She's just messing with you, lad. Get up there.
I know, and before I go, is he buried anywhere that I can visit, or?
No, unfortunately, we didn't get the body.
Okay, I understand, and I'm sorry if it doesn't help to bring up. I just found out, so.
Of course, we understand.
Thank you again, and she jumps back over the bar. Oh, wait! And turns around. I actually do have something for you. Reaches in the bag, and I have some Samabran wine still.
Okay.
Hands it. She goes, "This is from Samabra. You can serve it or drink it yourselves, but it's good manners to bring wine."
That's some fancy top shelf stuff.
Yeah, I got it.
Still for a pretty penny.
I told you I'm actually kind of important now, so yeah.
Well, because of this, I believe you. And he puts it on the top shelf behind him.
Then she runs back to her friends. Did not get refreshments. Okay. I got some information. They are in a meeting right now, and we have a key, and she holds it up, and we can go listen into this meeting, but only if you guys are comfortable with it.
Yeah, I guess.
It's better than nothing. Maybe we can gauge whether she's the kind of person to be just talked to.
Suppose it's a start.
Izzy's gonna lead the party to room 2, you said?
Yep.
Okay, let me update my notes here. So Izzy will go and look for the crawl space under the bed.
You're easily able to find it and lift up the board.
How big is this crawl space?
By crawl space, she meant crawling under the bed.
Got you.
So once you lift the board, you can actually see straight down into.
Oh, okay. I thought we were doing some like Mission Impossible vents shit.
Nah.
Not die-harding it.
Nah. I mean, unless you want to.
I mean, I was kind of excited, but no.
Well, below this floorboard, you see a small, like, crevice that looks kind of like a
crawl space.
Crawl space, and you crawl down into it, and you crawl about 10 feet before you hit a wall. And in that wall, you can kind of push it to the side and keep going for a little bit, and then you find kind of a little hole in the floor. And as you look through that little hole, you can see down into the room below.
Thank you. I'm fully immersed.
But yeah, in the room below, you see many figures. 2 of which are 2 you are now familiar with. 3 of which, actually. You see Cypher and Novice. They are the people. Well, Cypher is the leader of the Forsaken, as you were told. You also see, actually, you wouldn't know this person, but you recognize the picture that I sent into Discord earlier of Sodom Alvatriva. That is her. And you see 3 other figures as well. You see a tabaxi woman wielding scimitars.
Oh, she's so cool.
You see what looks like some form of dragonborn woman. She is decked out in many, many daggers.
Bruh, is that an axolotl woman? Oh, that's so cool.
It's a dragonborn woman.
That's so cool. No ugly NPCs.
You see a man dressed in all black, So there's a table with 3 chairs. Around that table is Cypher, Putriva, and the man with the mask over his face. The Tabaxi woman is standing behind Putriva, or Sodomal. Putriva is her last name. Sodomal. The dragonborn woman is standing behind the man, and Novice, obviously, is standing behind Cypher. So it appears kind of like it's a meeting of leaders of crime rings and their second in commands.
And the cat is behind Sodomol?
Yes.
Okay.
You remember that,
Is behind the pirate woman that we don't know?
Yeah, you know the name, you don't know her face.
Okay.
So you kind of look down into the room and see them all, and they are having kind of an intense conversation. You hear Cypher speaking, and she's saying... Actually, you hear the pirate woman speaking. Listen, Cypher, I believe in the cause that you are trying to champion here, but if it's just the 3 of us, we don't stand a chance against the Mechanist. You realize this, right? Then the man kind of chimes in and says, I agree with her. Unfortunately, we're spread thin as it is. The Thieves Guild took half our members, half our territory. We're not working with much. And Cypher finally kind of speaks up and says, I understand your troubles, but the fact of the matter is, if we do not eliminate the Mechanist, Highsail will fall permanently. Kind of silence that washes over the room before the pirate woman speaks up again. I don't doubt what you're saying, Cypher, but you haven't presented with us a viable option for achieving this goal. Well, if we were to gain entrance into the Artificer's Tower, we could assassinate the Mechanist and thereby chop the head off of the snake. And what purpose would that serve? Just because the Mechanist is dead doesn't mean all the other crime lords lose power. There's still chaos, there's still rioting, there's still just a vacuum of power that will be filled by somebody else. You are right, of course. But without the Mechanist, there are no spiders. Without the spiders, we regain our ability to move in shadow. With that, I believe the 3 of us can marshal enough influence to assert control over the other crime lords. Once that is done, we will control the city and can then decide what happens next. And I suppose you believe that you should be the next leader of Highsail? No. I believe that Highsail should choose its own leader. We must learn from the mistakes of the past. The council did not work. It was made up of rich, pompous idiots whose only goal was to serve themselves. I agree with you there, sister, but Highsail's always been a place of chaos. Can we really trust people to choose the right person, to not be bought off or pressured into voting for a certain person and then end up right back where we are now? As I have said, we will control the city. We will enforce voting. We will ensure that every single man, woman, and person of age can vote. If every voice in Highsail speaks in unison, corruption cannot exist. It's ambitious, I'll give you that. Well, do I have your support? I'm going to need a bit more information before I say anything. How do you propose we assassinate the Mechanist? If any of the 3 of us were to even get close, we'd lose all control over our own territories. We can't be part of it. We can't be seen to be connected to it. I agree. I control one of the most powerful parts of the city, the docks. If my influence wanes, we lost. I believe it might be prudent to hire outside help, faces not connected to any of the 3 of us. Mercenaries? To do something so delicate? You've got to be joking. We will obviously wait until we find the right people. But, as you have said, we cannot be connected to this. What choice do we have? Izzy.
Yo.
Make me a perception check.
Super good at those. Ooh. Another hot one. I'm rolling hot tonight, guys.
Then make
That for
me
everybody, or just
Well, I would assume only Izzy can see or hear any of this because it's a crawl space with a tiny hole in the floor.
I thought we were
Okay.
all in there.
Are you all in there, back like butt to butt, or face to butt? I guess.
Well, that was before it was a crawl space. I figured we could all see it.
But it's a crawl space now.
It's now. Okay, my fucking bad, guys.
Tanner will probably be hanging out on the bed, but he'll have sent Chirp down with Izzy since he's smaller.
Okay.
I hope you're fine with snuggling with my raven.
So Izzy, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh fuck! Why can I not roll well tonight?
So Izzy, you failed to notice that the ground beneath where you're laying started cracking
Oh
as
Christ!
you were laying there. And out of what feels like nowhere, you suddenly feel the ground give out from underneath you. And you start to crash into this room that they are meeting in. You are able to kind of grab kind of the edge of where you were and like not fall into the room, but you are kind of dangling into the room.
Oh, and we are actually in a crawl space.
Yes.
Okay, so dangling. I'll look down at them and I'll go, wow, that they weren't kidding when they said there was termite damage. I'll have to fix that up. And
Make a deception check.
don't worry, guys, I'm really good at these.
Okay. Okay. So what do you do?
I'm gonna try to pull myself back up. Don't mind me, everyone.
And you see the axolotl kind of like get a running leap off the table and grab the bottom of your leg and just try to yank you down. Make a strength saving throw.
I was hired to do this.
You're kind of like squawks, like he like grabs you.
are we like anywhere near this, or
You can hear that it happened, and you hear the voices now because the hole is much bigger, and you hear "get up," and you get yanked down into the room and onto your back on the table. And you're kind of laying to where, as you're like laying like across the long ways of the table, and as you like look up, you see Cypher's like right there looking down at you. Hello.
Hi. Okay, I'm gonna come clean. I am not a inspector.
We know.
Okay. My friends are also up there. We mean you no harm.
You hear the man whistle. And
I'm heading down the crawl space after
the
at this
axolotl
point, so.
and the cat, the tabaxi woman, immediately exit the room as you say, "My friends are up there."
No, they can come to us. Again, we mean you no harm.
I don't know if I would have reached it by this point, but I'm like coming.
Are either of you still in that room, or are you in the crawl space, both of you?
I'm in the crawl space.
We're both hopping in the crawl space.
Okay. The chatter, as you kind of duck down into the crawl space, you hear the door to the room burst open, and the axolotl woman kind of walks in and just kind of stands behind you. Hello, love.
Hi.
What you up to?
You're an inspector.
I suspect that you found our friend down there. He like kind of like glances at the floor.
I suggest you join him, or there might be trouble.
Oh, would you like me to use the stairs or gonna drop down?
Keep crawling, love.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I would have
as
reached
you-
it by this point, but if my head pokes out ahead in the crawl there, I'll just drop down.
All of the other people in the room are kind of like backed away from the table, weapons drawn. Cypher's still sitting there, just looking down at Izzy.
Izzy has not moved.
As you all join the room, the two that left come back in through the door, and Cypher just says to you, "Now, I suggest you explain yourselves."
Right. So it's actually kind of fortunate that we met this way. You were talking about
spying on us?
No, we're not spying on you. We have been wanting to meet you for a little bit, and we happened to stumble upon this room. Okay, we were eavesdropping a little bit, but only because it was interesting. Is Ahaya here yet?
yeah, I just dropped down.
Me and my friends. I'm Izzy. Is Rana. That's Ahaya. Points to Ahaya. And that's Chatter. Points to Chatter. We have been sent here by some important people to help you.
And who would those people be?
I don't know how prudent it is to discuss this in current company, but...
Are you mocking me?
No.
That's just how he talks.
Are you Warforged as well?
No, I am Ahaya.
The two Warforged kind of look at each other.
I am a core.
Don't see much of your kind down here.
I can't say that I'm familiar with your kind either. To Cypher, I'm going to say, you have come to the attention of those beyond the walls of this city that wish to restore balance and normalcy to the rest of the world. And they believe you have a role in achieving this. We have something for you.
You still have not said who these individuals are.
Who has the item, the symbol, the communicator thingy?
I think that went into the group things.
So it would be in your bag of holding then.
Okay, yeah, I will take it out.
Do you know what this is?
She kind of looks over to her second and gestures, and he comes and walks over and takes it, looks over it for a moment, leans down and whispers in her ear. It is some sort of communication device.
Yes it is. And it will allow you to communicate with those who wish to collaborate with you.
It is strange that these collaborators do not wish to reveal their identity.
It is not so much that they don't wish to reveal their identity, as that we wish to not do it for them.
Well, also, the mission specifically was to find you, and we're in more company than just you for this, so you know how gossip...
These individuals. I have already trusted them with my life, simply by telling them what you have overheard.
Right. Is he still lying on the table? Looks to Ahaya. Do you think we can say it, or?
Planning is not my strength.
Okay. We were sent by the Arcane Assembly. I'm just gonna come out and say it.
There's some muted gasps and looks exchanged throughout the room.
They think you can help the situation here in High Sail. And did they want you to? Did they want Cypher to be part of the squad? Is that what it was?
They wanted Cypher to replace Eternal as the High Mega.
Right. They want you to be the new Eternal.
Eternal is dead.
No, he's on vacation. Yes, he's dead. I don't know why I keep lying to you. I'm sorry.
I'm told I am intimidating.
You're very scary, and
Ahaya will give you a look at you.
I mean, you're extremely approachable. I actually would love to know how you are how you're so organic looking almost. It's amazing. If there's ever a chance, I would love to run the details with you. They think that you can help the situation and you can be part of their Arcane Assembly squad.
Believe I understand. Those who had a hand in creation of my kind believed that I would be loyal to them. I am not.
I don't think it was a control thing.
I do not see how I am qualified to replace a mage of such skill as Eternal. yes, I dabble in the arcane art, but unlike my companion here, and she gestures to Novice, I prefer the martial.
Well, I don't know if Eternal. We were there, and when things got bad, he literally just killed himself. So I don't think the power is the whole requirement. I think it's more about you.
It is less about your magic ability and more about your capability collectively. There are things you can do, things you have achieved.
And honestly, from what we heard, you seem like a good person, so I'm inclined to agree.
Good and evil are a gray area in this city.
And trust me, growing up here, I know that for sure, but I've met many a more gray people than I've even heard from you in this couple of minutes. I don't know. I can see what they see, but I see why you don't trust them. Can I stand up now?
We are not restraining you.
Oh, it slides off the table.
The pirate woman kind of turns to Cypher. I can't help but believe that this complicates our plans. Quite the opposite, actually. As the Arcane Assembly seeks to use me, I shall in turn use the Arcane Assembly. They can help us here in Highsail to a degree. Obviously, they are too self-important to involve themselves directly, but they could provide resources. You trust this Arcane Assembly?
Do we? No.
I was asking her. But I'm glad to know that people who work for the Arcane Assembly don't trust the Arcane Assembly.
Do you trust
the
all-powerful mages?
You'd be dumb to.
Well, there you go.
Hard not to believe they have something to do with what happened to Altea.
They absolutely did. Thank you.
It's only logical.
We have a relationship of necessity. That is all.
It's the teleportation circles, isn't it?
It really helps.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
This guy knows a lot. Anyway.
I like that this guy is an ill and did Altea conspiracist as well.
Somebody had to be.
Meta joke, I like it.
Well, Cypher, I suggest you take that thing if you're going to use it. I agree. And she takes it from Novice, and as soon as she touches it, the room kind of dims, and surging forth from it are the transparent images of all of the other members of the Arcane Assembly. Standing at the other head of the table at which Cypher is sitting, you see Ilyn. You see the other members kind of composing themselves that this was obviously not a planned
I was going to ask.
They kind of immediately get what's happening as there is a new face in this very closed circle of people that have access to this type of communication. Because they can't really see you necessarily, they can just see Cypher in front of them. So as soon as they all appear and realize what's happening, Ilyn speaks and says, Cypher of Highsail, do you accept the mantle of High Magus of the Coast in service to the Arcane Assembly and the Archmage? On one condition, the Arcane Assembly pledges its support to the cause of liberating Highsail. We expected as much. Unfortunately, we are divided and thin in number. However, we will do our utmost to provide you the resources and equipment that you require to see this deed done. I can connect you with our contacts on Kitterus Island. They are more than willing to lend their aid in this endeavor, as they wish to see a liberated Highsail as well, and hope that relations may be formed in the future. Well, this is unexpected. The Aarakocra of Kitterus are long been reclusive. I will enjoy hearing from their representatives should they present themselves. And in that case, yes, I, Cypher of Highsail, accept the mantle of High Magus of the Coast in service to the Arcane Assembly and the Archmage. You kind of notice just kind of the other crime lords in the room looking a little uncomfortable and suspicious, but not saying anything. Very well. Congratulations, High Magus. We hope to hear from you very soon. And the forms dissipate. And as they do, they kind of surge back into the amulet that she's holding, and it kind of like forces itself to her chest, and you see this like almost looks like a protective barrier just kind of go up around her, and she takes in a large breath, which is surprising given that she's a warforged, and her eyes kind of glow for a moment, that very familiar blue hue that Ilan's magic generally is, and she looks back at all of you. Well, now that unpleasantness is done, who are you?
Hey there, this is Grimwolf. Thank you so much for watching our video. We truly appreciate it. If you don't want to miss anything, please subscribe and leave a like while you're down there. We post new videos every week. Between our Dungeons & Dragons campaign, video game reviews, and other gaming content, there is something for everyone. See you next week.